Hello, my name's Sharon Bannister, and our theme for today is weakness into strength. Now, my next person really does know about this, and he's achieved an incredible amount in the last 2 years. And if he started literally from nothing, he had no job, no prospects, and no profile, is having Parkinson's disease and working from home, and he still managed to be the Entrepreneur of the Year and win the award last year, which is fantastic. And doing that, he also helped many other people to have a much better quality of life, which is something very dear to my heart, because it's not just about winning, it's about contributing something back to your community and making a difference in other people's lives. But as if that wasn't enough, he's also done incredible things in the last 2 years. And I'm just going to read a couple of the things onto the list. He launched his company in a sector he didn't know against 33,000 other people. He's grown his business 650%, won a 6-figure contract that he had no chance of winning, supposedly, in Canary Wharf, saved more money by paying his staff more. Well, that sounds very interesting. He's helped 39 mothers and 9 fathers get back into work, become a global ambassador and keynote international speaker. He's excelled through the COVID challenge by offering a specialist disinfectant service, launched his podcast, Global Futurist, and if that wasn't enough, he's also a best-selling author with his latest book, #Remote Working. I mean, so much in 24 months. It's a little bit overwhelming, I know, for me, and I'm sure for other people that's watching this. But luckily enough, we have Luke here to share his incredible journey and how he achieved his story of launching his company, Integrity Cleaning, and the realization he had that would change his life. Welcome, Luke Murfitt. I mean...
What an introduction. It's not bad, is it? Thank you very much. That's very kind.
But nothing of it. You are incredible. I mean, it's a little bit overwhelming because your story is remarkable. And before we go on and hear how you did your journey, I know that other people will be curious, and I know I am. I'd love to know a little bit more about you. So who is Luke Murfitt?
Okay, well, Luke Murfitt is, I'm still in my 30s. I'm a husband of Diana Murfitt, and we've been married for almost 17 years. I have 2 children, 2 lovely children, Jotham and Lydia. We're a family who are currently in lockdown, which is great fun. No, that's important. And that's who I am, basically.
Just share, how did you get to this incredible situation of being Entrepreneur of the Year?
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Well, these things don't just happen, and it's obviously a great honor to have that. But of course, my story started probably, the story which we're talking about in this sector would have started probably when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2015. And that was a challenge, but it was a challenge I was willing to take on. So, of course, FTSE 100 company was one that I was working for as a manager, sort of sales manager, in sales as well. And they kind of quickly got rid of me when they realized the diagnosis, but that's not a problem. So I then went self-employed, and then I realized I needed to start basically use my skills and my ambition to be able to hopefully help more people than just myself. And that's when my Parkinson's nurse advised that actually I went to the job centre. So how to stand out in a crowd is wear a suit to a job centre. I went there.
Yeah.
And they didn't let me in, so they actually sent me around to the main entrance, which is for like staff and for sort of their consultants and things. And so I got a pass to the building of the job centre, with a pass on my neck, and that was quite interesting. So then I could just walk around the building, and I ended up with the job creations centre sort of area. And they said, right, we're going to put you on benefits, and I said, I don't want benefits, thank you. I'd rather actually start a company. I said, I want to employ the people downstairs. And I said, I want to start a cleaning company. So I think they slightly dismissed me because people like putting you in a box, you see. They saw the suit, which automatically they dismissed me from the other people who were coming in. And then when they asked, then they heard that I wanted, they saw my shaking hands sort of thing because of Parkinson's and things. And they thought, well, this guy can't run a company. But I looked out the window and I said, I actually want to use the people downstairs to clean the buildings over there. And of course, 3 months later of designing logos and 800 number and sort of setting up all my company and things, I then went to find my first client, and within about a week of that, I found a hotel, and that was a great time. So 100 hours of cleaning every week, which is incredible, really, for a cleaning company to start with. And it went from there. So, and within 9 months, I then basically walked onto a big building site in Canary Wharf. So I looked up and I saw these big buildings, 7 towers, 1,000 apartments by Gallard Homes. And Fearless had just walked on and just basically asked for the business and said, these buildings need cleaning. And they said, well, interestingly enough, we were actually going to tender for a cleaning company in 3 days' time. So,
wow.
Yeah. So basically, the good-looking business card and the suit covered a multitude of lack of experience, you know. So then I went through the tender process, and within 2 months, we then won a 6-figure contract, even though we'd never actually cleaned a construction site in our life.
Wow.
Beating some of the largest companies in the UK. So that's a real privilege and honor. But to get to that point, you see, before I actually started cleaning and things, I actually set up the company. I looked at the curve of the industry, 33,000 companies, cleaning companies in the UK. And you can either be like the rest or you can actually be the best.
Totally.
Yeah. So the way that I did that was actually I realized that actually the biggest challenge in the cleaning industry is personnel. So you can find clients, but then you get stuck because then you can't find the right people to deliver the service. So before I actually found one client, I found 9 cleaners. So my company was functioning with 9 cleaners on a payment only before I found my first client. So I could actually, I actually could go to this hotel and say, we have 9 cleaners. This is our ethos. This is what we do. Here's my logo, and so on.
Before you carry on, would you like to explain to everybody how you created it to be something slightly different, how you employed the cleaners?
Yeah.
Because you shared a wonderful story.
Sure. So in terms of the mothers back to work, is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Well, of course, I was waiting for my daughter in the playground, and I looked across and I saw lots of mothers, and I thought, well, I appreciate that lots of these mothers would actually like to work, and many of them are thrust into this sort of environment of not being able to work because they're bringing up the children, you know, from birth, if you like, and then they get to the point where they want to rejoin back into the career again. And now find themselves set back, and often unemployment is like that, where you can actually lose your motivation and your mojo, sort of thing. So I thought to myself, well, what a great group of people who are brilliant, you know, got great opportunities, great experience, and will to work, rather than just looking on a job board trying to find people, or, you know, an agency, if you like, and just hiring people for agencies, which is what cleaning companies normally do, or never use an agency, by the way. And so I established Mothers Back to Work. I thought, well, it'd be great to help mothers back into work, to give them that opportunity to be flexible, to help them if they're short on money or whatever for transport, to help them with training, and also pay them more than the going rate, because I appreciated that you know, I wouldn't like to be earning £8.50 myself, so I certainly wasn't going to pay it myself. So we increased the pay by about 50%. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it's so part of the thing is, as I was mentioning, talking to you earlier, is that respect is one thing that is one of the key things that helps people to work for you well. You see, a cleaner, they have a choice. They can either clean like this regularly, you see. And the key is, as someone who's obviously running a company, how can you motivate your people to work like this consistently and quite often? And so the idea is that you can show them respect. That includes certain things like the way you treat them, the way you talk to them, and also, of course, what you pay them. Money isn't actually the biggest motivator, but the fact that you pay them more than the minimum wage shows that you regularly respect them.
Absolutely. That's one of the most important things, to respect and have some integrity.
Yes, it is. And they reciprocate that.
Yeah. Before you go on, do you want to read an extract from your latest book? Because it's so full of very helpful tips, and it also, if anybody wants to get an in-depth thing about what happened to you, they can actually purchase the book later, and we can go into that at the end. But please.
Yeah, sure. And I would just say that this book, Remote Working, has just come out. It's actually made by 25 entrepreneurs. You see, we're in lockdown time, which is actually a great opportunity to really, you know, thrive in other areas you wouldn't be able to. And so that's what we did. So on the back, you see there's 25 of us there. And basically we put this book together in 10 days. It's non-for-profit making. It's not anything that, you know, but my chapter, which is around chapter 20. It's basically a story of working from home and my life, and well, you know, my life as an entrepreneur. And yeah, of course, I'd happily do that for you. Here we go. So we've got this is about halfway through. This is talking in reference to going into the job centre. I remember that morning. It was a dark and dismal, but I had hope. The queue stretched out the door. People without work, people claiming benefits. I walked towards the entrance, my foot dragging slightly. Parkinson's is like moving through treacle. It attacks your central nervous system. Getting to my feet is a challenge. Getting dressed is a challenge. But it only takes your strength. Your state of mind is up to you. And I learned something powerful from the disease. Often, weakness can be turned into strength. Inside the building, I told them my plan. I want to build a business. I want to hire the people outside. They smiled and nodded, watched the tremors in my hand. I showed them my briefcase, the documents, the spreadsheets, the logo. It was my dream business, a commercial cleaning company. They smiled some more and asked, what does a sales manager know about cleaning? I laid it all out. Cleaning is a dirty business, an industry ripe for disruption. 33,000 competitors in the UK. Low margins, low wages, poor staff, poor service. But this wouldn't just be any cleaning company. This would be Integrity Cleaning. More than the name, it was our mission statement. I wanted to help people back into work. I wanted to change lives by paying a living wage. Better pay would mean better staff, better work, and better service. A virtuous circle. Weakness turned to strength. When I finished talking, they smiled some more and showed me out. It was okay, they didn't know me. I began signing up mothers who wanted to work. It wasn't just the money that attracted them. We offered them training, flexible hours, and most of all, respect. All we knew was the first client. 4 months later, we launched, and it happened, a contract with the hotel, then another, then another. Integrity was working, but I needed help. I took on a business coach and an investor. They both got it. We weren't just winning contracts, we were changing lives. There you go.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's so inspirational and so refreshing. I just want to ask a few questions, if you don't mind, about after reading your section of the book, which is really brilliant. You mentioned in your book the importance of having a business coach.
Yes.
Who, for you, has been the most influential mentor in your life to date?
Okay. Well, in terms of setting up a business, I realized once we were about 9 months old, I would just say that actually all the things you mentioned earlier were actually done in 1 year, apart from setting up the business.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, you know, my company's not 2 years old yet. So we're 2 years in May.
Fantastic.
But essentially we were 9 months old, perhaps 8 months actually. And I realized that I needed to put systems and processes into place. And so I sought out a coach, which turned out to be Looked at Action Coach, and I found Mitali Chopra. Mitali's been very influential, very, you know, not
Mitali, could you repeat the name again?
Mitali Chopra.
Okay, thank you.
Milia Chopra. She used to be one of the heads of Microsoft in India. And then she headed up GoDaddy Europe. Yeah, very good. So she's done amazing. She's been there for me. You know, she's had to adapt her style. Obviously, working with someone with Parkinson's is not usual for the client. I have my challenges as well, whether it's memory and things like this. You know, and she's been amazing. And right now, you know, she's still watches over me, helps me, and guides me, even though I'm not officially actually with her, because for the first year. And together, you know, I won Entrepreneur of the Year, and she won UK Coach of the Year, business coach.
Fantastic. That's an amazing achievement.
On the back of my story and various others, yeah. So my advice is really to have a mentor, have a coach, whether they're paid or whether just good, solid friends who can think outside the box for you and really guide you and help you with their experience. Yeah,
definitely. The other thing you mentioned in your book was that you feel like a winner just by getting up and getting to your bedroom door, and the importance of a positive mindset. Now, many entrepreneurs, they have their daily routines and rituals they do to keep themselves inspired and motivated. What's your routine? What keeps you inspired?
Okay, fine. So the thing that established me and sought me out to the person that I am is actually my faith. I'm a Christian. And so I've spent my life obviously learning about how to be a better person, treat others better than yourself. But that was inbred into me, really. And so obviously, as I've flowed into the business world, I've actually just applied the same sort of integrity, which I've been brought up on from my family and obviously from those around me. It also meant that when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, it wasn't actually a problem for me. It was just a challenge that I had to overcome, and I knew I could get strength from other people around me. And I said to my neurologist only 6 months, about 3 months ago. I've seen him every 6 months. He's a professor. He's the top one. And I said to him, look, the tablets are great, but they're actually about number 7 on the list for importance for me. I take quite a bit of medication. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, as far as I'm concerned, what's more important than tablets before that comes, without giving it in order, food, sleep, having good people around you, having my faith, having a joy, a peace, having love for people and appreciation of others, and a thankful heart. And so
Absolutely.
when you put all those in order, you actually find that number 7 or number 8 is actually tablets. Because if you take plenty of tablets and you have all of them, but you don't have any love, then essentially tablets can do nothing for you. And if you have no drive, and if you have no good people around you, then again, tablets can't help you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my message to people, as far as medications is concerned, is maybe you need to take what you need to take, but don't rely on it. Seek other options. There's other ways of actually finding healing and finding,
So obviously, a faith plays a very important part in your motivation. Is there anything else that you do daily that helps you?
Okay. So my morning consists of waking up. I'm in quite a lot of pain and sort of like I'm frozen. Obviously, my body's frozen. It's cold. So when I say frozen, I mean stiff. But I'm a bit cold as well. My face is can't express my face and so on. And my fingers are curled up and things like this. So I have to obviously firstly try and move one arm, and then you try and move the other. And you go through a little routine like that, just trying to unstep a bit like a caterpillar turn into a butterfly. Okay, so
That's a great analogy.
Yeah. But so it's a new morning, and I hear the birds chirping and things like that, and I get to the point where I can actually turn my alarm off to reach over, unbend my fingers and things, stretch them out like this, and then automatically you're happy that you're thankful for starters that you can actually stretch out your hands. And yeah, your neck aches and your mouth is dry as leather and everything else. So you have to just try and get yourself, crank it up and get onto your feet. And so basically, I get onto my feet. That takes perhaps 5 to 10 minutes, and then I put my arms in the air and I say, "Thank you, God, thank you for today, and help me just to be useful to everybody." And then I then take the 7 most hardest steps of my life every morning, which is to my bedroom door. So those 7 steps start off hard, and then it gets easier and easier each step. And by the time you get to the bedroom door, you feel like you've won an award every day, to be honest. And when you feel like you've achieved that and broken out of the box of the bedroom, you feel like you can actually achieve anything. So when I won, 7 skyscrapers in London, Canary Wharf, when we cleaned this shard recently and all sorts of other contracts we've had, you feel like they're actually nothing compared to what you achieve each morning. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's a proven fact that gratitude could make a huge difference to the immune system and healing process. And I've studied that for many years. So
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
and you're walking proof of that, Luke.
Yes.
The other thing in your book, you had very, very helpful things. So you had a list of 10 tips for people working from home. What's your favorite tip that you'd like to share with us today?
Okay, so one of my favorite tips would be, I think one of my tips would actually be, dream big, then wake up, get up, and chase them. Too many people sleep dreaming. You got to actually chase them. So,
take action. Yeah,
take action. Put it into process. Yes, absolutely, for sure.
Brilliant. The other thing, as a sort of off the wall question, I want to ask you is: has there been one thing that your company's done for a client that was unexpected? I mean, I know for sure you have amazing customer service because the way you treat your staff is impeccable, and they obviously want to emulate the ethos of your company. So have you been surprised by reactions perhaps of individuals
or
companies?
Essentially our company, Integrity Cleaning, concentrates on cleaning construction sites. So that's like in new builds ready for the client, ready for them to hand over the client, hand over the building to the client. We also do just regular office cleaning as well across London, but predominantly it's construction cleaning. So, well, when we won this contract with Galliard, for example, you know, the senior QS quantity surveyor, he said, Luke, he said, if only every contractor was like integrity cleaning, he said, you basically just do what we ask, you know. I mean, that's kind of what I'm used to doing, really, just doing what I'm asked, you know, don't try and find shortcuts. So we don't cut corners, we clean them, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you get what you pay for.
Well, yeah, and so like I say, when you've got cleaners who are thankful to have a job, they're paid fairly well, you know, for some, I mean, I say cleaners. We have a thing in our company that we don't actually call them cleaners. We call them by their name. Everyone has a name, and I tell them when I first meet them, I walk up to them and say hi. I always meet them, and I look at them in the eye and I shake the hand and I say, "You're not a cleaner. You are Kate." So as far as I'm concerned, when everyone walks out of this building at the end of the day, everyone's equal again. You know, you're all equal. You've all got families to go to, and so on. You're still a human being, the same before God, and so forth. So I don't want anyone to ever look down on you, and they appreciate that. And you know, they say to me, Luke, you know, you're the first person who's ever said that to me. I appreciate that.
Wow. I think that's such an important point you brought up, because we all have our unique mission, our unique thing we're meant to be doing. We're all part of a huge team, and you've created a very specific team that works to do a certain specific job.
Yeah.
And you are all equal because you all work into the same, you know, goal, if you like. So that's hugely important. Now I'm going to ask you a very funny question. I know you struggled with this before, but I'm going to throw it at you anyway.
Okay.
If you could speak to yourself at 18, what advice would you say to yourself?
Well, the first thing I'd be doing is speaking to myself in Kenya, because I was actually working in an orphanage in Kenya at that time.
Okay.
In Africa, yeah. So I'd be saying to Luke Murfitt, I'd say, keep going, continue to help the street children, which is why I was there, and really continue reading the Bible every day and continue treating other people better than yourself. I think the key to hospitality and being kind is actually each person you meet, that they actually walk away from you feeling better than you do.
Absolutely.
Try and achieve that, then you're actually onto a winner, because trust me, it all reciprocates and all comes around anyway, and you feel great. Yeah. So when I won an award, which is this one here, the UK Business Awards, it's obviously Entrepreneur of the Year. You know, it's fantastic with the UK Business Award.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's great.
Yeah.
In the UK. So I'm really grateful for that, and it's really opened up many doors, and it's obviously connected me up with lots of people and so on, and it's helped me to actually have an opportunity like now to spread the story which I have, which obviously means more than any money can buy or anything. And that is totally my message out, you know. Obviously one needs to survive, but I feel like every day when I get to my bedroom door, I achieve one of these anyway, you know. So but to get this, you know, it's not easy, because it involves
No, I know.
each person that's been part of my life. Actually, this award's for them as well, because I could never have got there without them. And so, you know, yes, an entrepreneur, you know, I get the award and things and whatever else, but actually, whether it's my wife, whether it's my parents, whether it's business people, it's people like yourself, it's all sorts of people that are in my journey. That award is for them too, including yourself. So it's a lovely thing, yeah.
Yeah. And also, I now know that a lot of viewers would like to know, first of all, where they can buy the book, how they could join your podcast, perhaps, you know, and in the future, and, you know, if you want to be keynote speaker. So how can we help? What would be the best way of them contacting you?
Sure. Well, I think LinkedIn is fantastic. Of course, you can find me Luke Murfitt on LinkedIn. That's a great way. Find me and follow me there and just sort of see what I'm talking about. In terms of the book itself, well, obviously it talks about 25 different people. It's mostly tips and advice, but mine is actually my story. So obviously I did it from remote working. It's currently number 1 in the UK. It's number 1 in Canada. So I think it's number 8 in Australia. And it's top 20 in America.
Fantastic. Well, that alone, that's something to really, really celebrate, because you're getting the right ethos and the right message across to people.
Yes, exactly. And of course, you know, when I was in January, I was asked to be the global ambassador for Awards International, which is a great honor. So that obviously means I'll have lots of keynote speaking opportunities. Unfortunately, obviously, recent events have stopped those being physical, but I've spoken at a few, and now they're going to be sort of like so who would have thought that I would actually be the keynote speaker at the next UK Business Awards?
Wow.
Yeah, coming up soon on the 9th of July, and I've got the Digital Awards, UK Digital Awards. I've got the European Customer Service Awards, which I'm speaking at again.
So that's another date that we need to keep in our diaries. So that's all very important. So I'll make sure people know about that.
Keynote speaking is great because it gives me an opportunity to share what I'm turning weakness into strength.
Absolutely.
And that's definitely it. You know, I've got a website coming, which is going to be lukemurfitt.com, and a podcast, a global podcast, which I'm going to be doing with, ironically, one of the judges from the awards, Kim Riddell.
Lovely.
So we're going to be co-hosting that. We've actually done the first one already. It's coming up shortly. And that's also going to be live every Tuesday. And you get that on cxm.co.uk, cxm.co.uk /
Brilliant. We'll make sure people get that information.
Yeah.
Once again, Luke, I'd really like to thank you for taking the time to speak to us today. It truly is inspirational hearing about your journey, and we all need something to inspire us and to help us feel positive in these challenging times. And today, that's just exactly what you've done. Thank you so much.
It's a real privilege and an honor, and I thank you very much for, putting me before your friends, your colleagues, and your peers, and your,
Oh, don't worry. We're going to get this out to everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's gone to number 1 in the UK, number 1 in Canada, number 8 in Australia, top 20 in America. Yeah.
That's absolutely astonishing. Congratulations.
Kindle and paperback. It's done number 1 in both.
That's quite astonishing. I mean, what sort of an entrepreneur are you, Luke?
I'm a businessman. I'm in my 30s. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and I went from job centre to entrepreneur of the year in 2 years.
Goodness.
That's my story.
It's absolutely superb, and it's uplifting. And
thank you.
It makes me think that some of my rather trivial whinges about this are completely irrelevant to anything.
It's a challenge, like you say. You said yourself, how do you structure your day?
Yeah.
So that's why all these people we all work from home anyway, and we've obviously built in strategies to be able to cope with the day, to be able to get through, to be able to stay virtually with people on WhatsApp and through podcasts and through webinars and Zoom and everything else. LBC is fantastic too, but so are the times. And I encourage people to think positively.
That's very.
Really turn weakness into strength, which is actually titled by my chapter 21.
Weakness and strength. I'm going to get that book, I tell you. But listen, what advice would you give, Luke? And I suspect you are in a good position to do this. What advice would you give to people who, like me, can't focus particularly well, or who are just a bit lazy?
Okay. Well, first thing is you need to dream big. Dream big. Make sure you wake up every day, get up and chase your dreams. That's my main one.
Luke, you're an inspiration. It's been absolutely wonderful to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye. All the best. Wow. That's a good use of lockdown, isn't it? Becoming a best-selling author.
And for the gold, we had integrity clean. you.